Hi there, my name's Tom. Welcome to Tom's Grinder Lab. This is a review of the WPM ZD-18 cafe grinder. What I believe to be an affordable, durable, no-frills workhorse for potentially your cafe. Definitely not a home prosumer grinder, as you'll see from the size of the hopper, which is a massive 1,200 grams, just a little bit more than single dosing would require. By the way, please do subscribe. That's essentially how I get rewarded for putting these reviews together. And full disclosure, this grinder was sent to me by WPM in exchange for the review. I'll let you decide by the end of the video whether that I've retained my objectivity. I think I probably have, in part because half of this review has been done by a colleague who actually owns a cafe, because I didn't feel that being a non-cafe owner, I didn't feel fully qualified to comment on this. So, going to unpack all of that as we race through the agenda. As usual, I'll start with the summary up front, so the key points up front. Then we'll dive into the key features and the specs, such as weight, grind speed, etc., burst size. Then we'll have a look at it in action in the Grinders Lab, and I'll show you a couple of the features, cafe use likes and cafe use limitations. And this is where my colleague John has come into the act to try it for a couple of days in his very, very busy cafe and give his impression. So I'll be quoting from John there. And finally, who I think this is probably best for. So let's kick off with the summary as usual. This is a grinder manufactured by Wellhelm, otherwise known as WPM, which was a firm established in 2005. They have a well-deserved track record for reliability and durability, so I don't see any reason why you couldn't expect that with this grinder. For those of you who don't know Wellhelm or WPM, it operates out of Hong Kong, manufactured in China, and they are also the people who manufacture a white label for many, many brands around the world, including Niche Zero when it first came out, and Sunbeam espresso machines and grinders, etc. This is a commercial grinder. I just want to underline that because it's the first commercial grinder I've actually reviewed. It's very simple and very easy to use, quite affordable at around Australian $15.35 at the time of recording, which is around about US $1,000. A very good value, no frills workhorse. This is the way I'd sum it up. Let's go and have a look at specs and key features. Specs, well, the burrs are 75mm flat burrs. They run at 1300 RPM. The motor is 550 to 650 watts, depending on which region you're in. 650 here in Australia, probably also Europe, UK. 550, I believe, with 110 volts in the US. 4 grams per second grind speed. I tested this, let's say around about 5 seconds for 15 grams. So fairly fast. 15.5 kilos. It's a heavy beast, there's no doubt about that. It's got an integrated fan, which works really well. It means that you get a lot of consistency around the grind time and the weight, even after back-to-back grinding, you know, off and on, grinding, pouring, over a 4-hour period that has been tested. 1,200 gram hopper capacity, probably actually 1,300. Very simple menu display, touchscreen display, 1 and 2 cup. You can decide, depending on the bean and how much you want in the portafilter cup, as to how long each the 1 and the 2 cup. It could be, you know, as little as 1 second, or could be 4 seconds or 5 seconds. So you can adjust those very easily. It has a tack switch for manual grind. You know, that's that little button at the back where you just push it in and hold it and then pull it out again when you've done grinding. So 3 options there on the panel: 1 cup grinding, 2 cup grinding, and the manual tack switch. This is the 2nd generation. It features the larger chute, faster grind time, and lower retention. Retention is actually very, very good. So in the Grinder Lab, let's go and have a look at the beast in action. As usual, quick shout out to Monastery.coffee, who are kind enough to send me a kilo of their superb light roasted filter beans once a month. So thank you to Monastery. This is the model I was sent. It's a black version. I have the Pasado, the beautiful Pasado portafilter sitting in the forks there. But I've just taken a shot on the bench. You can see, for those of you who might be prosumers, on the left is the Varia VS6, and on the right, my favorite grinder, which is the WPM ZP1. So just for comparison, the Varia is quite a tall grinder. This, of course, towers over it because of the hopper. I think one of the key features I want to mention again is the inbuilt cooling fan. This is a shot, by the way, from WPM's website. It's not mine, but they do make a feature out of it. And I think it's a deserved feature because it works incredibly well. There's a little bit of a hum noise, but with all the other noise going on in a cafe, I don't think that's going to worry anyone. The grind outlet portafilter, that's very easy to adjust. I'll show you how I do that in a moment when we get to the grinder lab, but super easy to adjust. 75mm flat burr. It produces very fluffy grinds. Again, show you that in a second. The touchscreen control panel, what I really like about it is the simplicity. It's very easy to change the number of seconds that you set the 1 cup up for versus the 2 cup, but you can also resort to manual if you want to do that. It does come with a little lock button at the back. If you want to change the grind setting, busy cafe, the last thing you want is the dial shifting at all. So to change the grind setting, just put your finger on there and then you'll be able to move the dial back and forward. It does come with a pretty good manual, I have to say. The Z-18 grinding tips adjustments, it shows you the minimum that you need to have the weight in the hopper to keep the grind time consistent. And there's lots of little tips I won't go through these with a fine tooth comb because this is not a training video, it's just a review. But just to say that all the basics come with a little quick start manual, which is very simple and very easy to use. So let's have a look at the grinder now. I put this little video together just to show you a couple of the things that you might be doing in a cafe. Just pointing out that's with the grind dial lock button. So you can see at the front here is the dial. And I'm pointing out now there are 3 stainless steel pins that you unscrew to release the hopper. And underneath that is a safety switch. So once those screws are undone and you've lifted the grinder off, the grinder is not going to, rip through any fingers that might be poked in there. But you obviously, when you're doing deep cleaning, you always want to turn it off at the wall in any event. But it's pretty easy to get the hopper off and get the hopper on for your end of the day clean. Just screwing it back on again. And you can see the panel lit up once I screwed the pin at the front left on, then the panel lit up to say, hey, we've got power back again. Naughty me, I should have turned it off at the wall before I did that. But this is just adjusting the portafilter forks. Very easy up and down adjustment, just two screws on either side. So you can fit, if you do have a need to change your portafilter halfway through the day, it's really about a 10-second job to do that. Now, I just wanted to show you the hopper capacity. It's rated as 1,200 grams. I think it's probably, just putting a kilo in there. So you can see it's easily accommodates a kilo. So I'm going to say officially 1,200 grams, but probably closer to 1,300 grams. Now I've reversed the video. Normally the one cup is over here and the 2 cups there. So that was the 2 cup pour. Just showing you how the grounds are very fluffy, very light, nicely spread throughout the basket. Doing a manual grind now with the tacked button at the back, which is just down here. And then I'll show you I've got the 1 cup set up just for a second. So you can do 1 second, do it again for another second, etc. I think a lot of cafes are going to use the tack button. And that is the beast. Probably could have adjusted that a little bit better, but it's a very heavy portafilter. And that's it. So let's have a look at what John said. Now, John owns a very busy cafe. It's actually a premium coffee drive-through cafe. I've been down there and I wasn't there at rush hour, but by goodness, it's busy. It's like a drive-through like McDonald's or something like that. But so there's a queue of cars and John has got to have his team smashing out those coffees time and time and time again. So busy, great place to test it because it's so busy. These are his comments. Really easy to clean the chute, one of the easiest that he's got, certainly better than his current grinders. Very low retention, by far the best in terms of retention. That was great to hear. Safety switch when the hopper screws are wound out. He really liked the fact that the power was cut off when you undid the hopper. Touchscreen adjusts fast and easy. These are all his comments, not mine. Best decaf flavor of any grinder that he's used. He said it actually tastes normal. So he was really blown away and would be sorely tempted to use it as a decaf grinder if he had space in his cafe. Cafe use limitations. Again, this is from John at Stella Rossa, the premium drive-through cafe. Deep clean takes more time than what he's used to. He also said the tack switch, he would like it to be just one push, not have to hold it in. So you push it once to start it. I guess push it again would be his idea to stop it. And he said the flavor in the cup for non-decaf was not as balanced as his specialty beans. Now, Stella Rossa is also a roastery. They are fairly high end. They do dark beans, but as well as medium and medium light beans. But these are just his comments. Personally, I found the burrs, I should say, with all the different grinders I've tested and split test, and there's probably up about 60, 70 grinders now. I thought these were like a classic Italian espresso. Inoffensive, traditional. You could use them with dark beans, you could use them with medium. It's not a light bean specialty grinder. It's really designed to smash out those coffees and deliver in the cup something which people really enjoy and doesn't really divide opinion. So it's got a wide sweet spot in terms of market appeal. That was my personal impression of having put through a number of different roast depths and bean types through this. One thing I'll add that I really didn't like, and I thought it needs improving, is this cat straight down the bottom here. It doesn't really fit under. It's kind of less to float it around. If you push it under, then you end up with this big gap at the front there. So I thought that could be an improvement. Some of the grinders that I've seen, even in the prosumer range, have a couple of extensions here with a hole in the middle. So you can just tip the grinder up and slip that underneath, put it down again, and then it's kind of locked into place without affecting the balance of the grinder, etc. So I think that's, personally, I didn't seem to worry John, but personally that would just bug the heck out of me. I'd probably put Velcro strips underneath to fix it in place, but you know, that's just me being a little OCD. All right, so who is this best for? Remember, it's a no-frills workhorse grinder. It's anyone wanting dependability, a high volume cafes when you've got to smash stuff out, lovers of traditional espresso. And really, if you want a no-frills workhorse grinder, which I've been told by Jake, who's one of the regional distributors, is selling like hotcakes in the Middle East, this could be the one for you. You don't need to have a well-known brand name on the front of it, perhaps. You haven't got a high-end specialty cafe where you're doing pour-overs and the like. You've got a lot of coffee to get out the door. You want a lot of people, a broad cross-section of the market, to be delighted with the flavor, then this could very well be the grinder for you. Thanks for listening, and always remember, please subscribe. If you have an interest in optimizing the flavor of your espresso, pop on over to tomsgrinderlab.com and download my, by now, well-distributed and well-known espresso troubleshooting and optimization guide. Thanks very much and enjoy your coffee. Cheers.